too dangerous to actually go on the ride, and they've closed the theme park. You're in fact getting out of like the theme park is closed.
They're looking for, I mean, this is Elise, she's great at diving.
All right, see where the carrier is going to go down. Remember, doesn't have his flash available. Good handshake does come on through. The bailout comes down, and Elise, like you say, good at diving. And so that is going to be first blood going over to Doctom.
Okay, this is good moves coming out. Oh.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, an Infernal Chain is going to land, and he doesn't pick up the turret aggro. So like you were saying, turret is going to reset. Flash comes out finally here as Ona going to have to flash and does survive. The Vi,
they can go for this. It's a little risky, I'll be honest. The fact that Peter has no flash, and they have the bailout, so we'll see if they can make it work.
Yeah, Peter gonna come on over. They find the cocoon. Onigumiyushi's taking a lot of damage. Does have the bailout as Cuz gonna have to get out of there as well. There's the repel, and Peter is gonna get Fate's Call back. Guma able to go down there as it is Cuz picking up the kill. BDD moving over another cocoon, grasping more, and Peter is taking control of this bottom lane. BDD loses half of his health bar, and Ona says, I know what time it is. They're ganking my bottom lane. I'm killing casting again. Let's see whether he can actually get this one down as Doran goes in, finds the slice and dice. He's tanking up that turret, and down goes the Aatrox. There's some more plate gold going over to T1. Faker as well in this mid lane. Might be able to claim a plate. Gumiushi takes a turret shot, does manage to get the plate money, as we see there. Carrier now, hostile takeover available. As Cuz looking to grab some grubs. First round were secured there by T1.
Against this Renekton, both of them with the first time completed, but I mean, here's a cluster of all AD carry jump, but he comes.
Whoa! Oh! There's a flash. The flash comes out from Carrier, but it doesn't quite work. He's taking so much damage with the hostile takeover. He's too good! Casting has to flash away as Cuz. A lot of damage there available as BDD coming on over. That is gorgeous amounts of CC being thrown out by the Hui. The Infernal Chains will connect. Another knock-up as Gumiushi trying to run, but he's not going to get anywhere, and it's a double kill for BDD on the Hui.
He looked pretty positive now. Carrier gets caught out. A bit of a miss flash as well. Doesn't get over the wall. And Katie found an opportunity to strike.
Sacrificing Peter for the greater good. That's what they're known for. Is now Cuz fighting against Ona here. We'll actually be able to find a decent trade towards the end. And
does catch out Peter and take him down. But BDD flashes over with such confidence.
Oh, the grasping more so good.
Yeah, catches them together. And then the snipe there from BDD as well. And this
yeah, they are,
you know what?
Under pressure.
KT are playing like they're 7k gold behind last game.
Yeah.
But they're actually ahead now.
Fate's Call comes on through. Doran not going to get knocked up, but the Cocoon is going to land. This is a lot of money if they're able to take down the Renekton, but it's a lot of damage if they can't. The Glacial Prison goes wide. But so does the hostile takeover. Doesn't quite find the value they're looking for. And now Carrier has overstepped the mark. And BDD, oh, he can hold him in place for forever. There he is, just eats him. And that's another one. 4-0-2 for BDD on the way. And KT, it just took having what looked on paper like the worst draft we've seen in the history of the LCK for 2025 for them to feel absolutely fantastic and find all the advantages.
They're just locked in, you know, and it kind of goes to show that it's not all about draft. They find the angle.
KT are looking for their second dragon. First mountain will go their way. And you mentioned that KT just need to lock in.
Yeah.
This looks like a lock. They're going to lock in on the top side. So this this turret under fire right now, as BDD can clear out minion waves from a very long way away. Faker comes over though, so this could be a lot of money into the coffers of T1. Try and get them back into a favorable position. Rift Herald will stop that from being a reality as Gumiushi comes over, but he's not going to stop this tower from going down. And so mid-outer, pretty important one, as Handshake comes through. Cuz happy to eat that though, as they're just looking for another charge, and they will be able to get it.
Making some good progress, and again, the total goal lead, not
state, if you will. Casting doesn't have a turret here, and so he's probably dead. He has a lot of practice at being dead in this game, though, as he does flash away from the gravity well. Arrow going to be avoided. Does get the auto as well for the extra healing. But Ona is underneath the inhibitor turret now. Another heal comes through. It's Faker getting taken down low. The turret was charged up, but not charged up enough. And now KT are looking to answer this one with an Otacon towards the bottom side of the map.
She's just gone. You know, if that Q3 had hit, I mean, maybe even casting turns it around more. But at the end of the day, they'll get this Ruinous Otacon, although This is an early TP from BDD.
Yeah, that is a confident TP if ever I've seen one. They have Rend, they have Smite. Cuz also doesn't have a lot of resistances as it's only Dr. hit by the hostile takeover. They really want to take some of these flowers down. Cuz with the flash away, Doran slicing, doesn't find it. So not going to get the dice angle. And so they should be able to get in here to try and take some of these flowers. I don't know who was able to get the majority of them.
I think it was kind of a mix. I do think KT ended up with more, but I think that TP from BDD was early. I think obviously does have this lead, is on those 2-item spikes, but has to, you know, we've kind of talked about object permanence, has to be there.
Well, Glacial Prison going to come down as Owner is going to look to turn it. Peter gets pulled back, and it's a fair bit of damage available here. Only one hit by the hostile takeover. That'll spell the end of Owner, as he does get bailed out, but unfortunately it doesn't do too much. As Doran, he's pressed his R button and cannot do anything about it. So Soul Point going to go over to KT as Faker has said, I just want to kill this inhibitor.
Yeah, okay, BDD flash burn there.
Okay.
I think ultimately Faker out of position a little bit on the setup for that fight, and Oda does everything he can to save him, but a pretty heavy cost to pay. And, you know, just like I wasn't super in agreement with that TP from BDD.
She's taking a bit of damage, but that could have been an opportunity for something.
I think maybe just hoping to get the cleanse from Guma in that situation, but he holds his nerve, manages to dodge it. Now down that ult for a little while.
Arrow is there, so Gumayushi can start a fight whenever they would like to. Looks like T1 want to as well. The arrow is going to sail over. Hostile takeover working out. BDD goes golden, but now Doran is in amongst the fight. Casting as well, though, with that World Ender, getting some work done. They take down the Renekton, but the Aatrox cannot survive, and the Chaos Storm is just massive. T1 finally finding themselves a team fight.
Beautiful engage there from T1, getting right on the BDD, and it was so unfortunate because Peter repelled, and in the end, it meant the arrow hit BDD instead, and I think maybe it was never going to be a great fight for KT, but maybe if you tanked the arrow, BDD could have survived a little bit longer, but I think either way, it was just a beautiful engage from T1. Now,
Dr. wants this against Faker. He doesn't have his ulti, as now Cuz comes on over, and that is just a kill. Really nicely done here by KT. They're going to lose the Baron, but they'll at least take themselves so difficult to take down. The problem is T1 have so much map control off the back of this Baron that this Dragon is going to be...
I would be a little bit concerned about taking this fight into them.
KT are not concerned about it. They are going to go for the fight. They'll get a cleanse. Now to Gumayushi here is casting, possibly getting engaged on by Owner. Meanwhile, there's a Fate's Call needing to be invested. Peter gets himself out, but won't have access to that ability now. As casting standing on top of a ward, teleport in from Doran. And Owner gets on top of this Dragon. Let's see whether they can find an angle here. Already Doran has taken a fair bit of damage, and now BDD needs to stay out of harm's way. The problem was he was in melee range with a Vi. Of course, she flashed on top of him. That made things difficult. But now you were mentioning the Arcane Storm. That goes down, and so does the Dragon. This ward getting so much value here for T1, the one behind the little rock there.
Yep. Just really able to zone them away. A lot of tools unavailable. The fact that the Fate's Call and the Prison were down, and T1 able to secure that Dragon, and now looking towards his bot tower. A little risky though. Remember, Doran doesn't have TP and he isn't here.
Well, KT are looking for it. They're going to go for something here as Faker just sidestepping everything. Good cocoon defensively there onto Carrier to stop him from being able to do too much more.
But now Doran should be able to get this mid-tier too, and the pressure's still on in the bot lane.
Yep. And this is just T1 extricating money from KT's side of the map. Casting comes on over, so that tier 2 doesn't actually fall, but this one...
no flash. They are going to start at the Baron.
Oh, God. And Doran now getting all that fury. Dominus has been popped. It's down to 50%. As Arrow going to get tanked. Fate's Call going to pull Peter back. As Doran going to be the target. He flashes away. There's now KT off the Baron for the moment. Doran in an awkward position. As Peter finds another cocoon. Casting gets over the wall, but now the rest of T1 move on over. And Casting has been cornered off. The flash over from Cuz is decent, but Peter is just dead. This Arcane Storm is so scary. And Owner gets on in there. The flash on forward. Casting trying to find these Qs, but T1 are a freight train. And Doctom is dancing, but I just don't know whether he's got the tune, and he does not. Down goes Casting as well. It's a catastrophe for KT, and T1 may just win the game right here.
KT put in a great effort, you know, managing to find some big advantages on the bot side, but when it comes to those team fights, so hard to deal with his T1 composition and the excellence when it comes to fights around Baron. The Arcane Storm was the size of a lane at the end of that fight. and they will close this one out 2-0.
Yep, T1 just a little bit too better here today. They put up the homestand last time and KT got the better of them, and they return the favor here as KT's